What's going on, everyone? Good morning. I hope everyone is having a great day, having a great morning, and had a great trading week last week. And I'm going to be doing something different today. I'm actually going to be going over some newses, what to actually look out for, especially for this week that we actually have the French election, which is the first segment of the French election. And yeah, we're just going to be going over some newses for some different pairs. Then we're going to jump right into the charts. Now, before we actually jump in, I just want to put a quick disclaimer that I am not responsible for any losses or gains. And with that being said, we're just going to go and jump right into the calendars. Oops. Yep, right into the calendars to really just start out the day. Alright, so usually for today, as you see, on Sunday, we have the French election for all Euro pairs. So just keep in mind with all Euro, Euro USD, Euro JPY, all the Euro pairs, just be in mind that we have like very high impact newses. So we got the French election on Sunday. And tomorrow, Monday, we actually have the German IFO business climate. It's right here. And that's actually during the London session. I may be actually trading at that time. Later on, we actually have FOMC. We have a speaker, and we have the same person that's actually speaking twice at 11 and at 3 o'clock in the morning and afternoon. Going down to Tuesday, and also bear in mind that we actually do have New Zealand and Australian bank holiday. And going on to Tuesday, we have the Italian bank holiday. But following at the London session, we have a little middle impact news on the British Pound. The ones to really look out for on Tuesday is usually Australian dollar at the evening, USD in the morning. Going down to Wednesday, we have the crude oil. And also, we have a governor speaks on the Australian dollar. So Australian dollar and usually USD in the morning is going to be the two pairs that I just will be looking out for that day. Next up, we have the BOJ, the Bank of Japan. We have some rates that's going on. Then we got a press conference on Thursday. So the Japanese yen and Euro USD, Euro and USD is pretty much good pairs to really look out for on this in the markets, where we have potential moves to either upside or to the downside. So we're going to see a lot of movement going on. Later in the evening, we have some business confidence with New Zealand. And going down to Friday, we don't really have that much, but we have like middle impact newses in London session and all the way to New York session and Asian session until the market is actually closed. Alright, so now that we actually covered what was going on with the newses, we're going to actually jump into the charts. Alright, so for the charts, what we have up first, we have Euro USD on a daily chart. And I also like to point out another measuring point right here. Keep on forgetting to put right there. Now, where the market is actually testing right now, and where this pin bar on price action almost tests this level right here, these two levels. And what I'm just really looking for is a push up to the upside to the 107 zone. and get bearish confluence in that area, either get a push down to this pull, well, to this high, to these highs back here, or even potentially coming all the way down to the 106. Also, I'd like to point out another zone, which would be the 108 zone, which holds out as resistance and support in the past. Looking left, and just want to see bearish evidence in this area and a push all the way down, either to these highs, looking left, or potentially even all the way down to the 106. And with like the first election that's going on, we probably may have a big push up here as a test to this high, this resistance, this important area, major area, and we may either see a push up and a push down, or a break above this important area and a retest and continuation even upward. But I will be covering the first election news pretty much after the analysis. Next up, we have USD Swiss. I actually got stopped out in profit around this area. I'll run down my trailing stop loss down to my 2-to-1, so I actually got stopped out. Looking for re-entry though. So we're looking on the daily chart. As you see, I drew a trend line that we are in the downtrend, no doubt about it. So for those that's actually still holding sell trades, that I'm looking for a measuring point at the 99.02 zone, which is right here. And as soon as we get to that area, just looking for that bullish confluence and a push up all the way up to these measuring points here, or all the way up to the $1. Next up we have is AUD USD, which performed really well last week, which respected this support level. And as you saw down here at the RSI, is that it was almost oversold, and I ended up taking a buy trade on that oversold one. I believe it was on the 4-hour. Was it on the 4-hour? Nope, it was on an hour. Yeah, I saw that it was oversold on the 1-hour, so I took a nice trade right here as a swing. So for what we're really looking for this week is push down to the 75 zone. As soon as we get to that area again, just looking for bullish confluence in that area and a push all the way up to this high, to these lows, looking left, or potentially even all the way high to this high, this major resistance at the 76.99 zone. Next up we have is gold. And as I covered last week, that we were just looking for more bullish evidence, but as you see that we have a little consolidation in this area, it's right here. So just looking for a break to the upside or to the downside. So there's two measuring keys I would like to, two measuring points I would actually like to point out. If the market actually comes down to test that 1255 zone, we're just looking for that bullish evidence into that area and come up to this consolidation level again, or even potentially pushing all the way up to the 1306. Or if we get a push up to that 1306, that we're actually looking for bearish evidence, and probably push all the way down to these highs, consolidation high, or all the way down to the 1255 zone. That would be it for gold. Next up on silver, what we actually have, it was nice, very great price action. I pointed this out last week that we was looking for bearish evidence, and we have a nice bearish engulfing at this major area. So now that it actually declined all the way down to these lows right here, it probably like a minimum support level, what we just really look for is probably a push back up to the 1843 zone, and we get a push back up all the way up there. We're looking for that bearish evidence again, and probably see a break below this mini support level, and potentially all the way down to the to the 1731 zone. Also, like to point out too, if the market actually does break out of this zone, we're just looking for a push all the way down to the 1731 for those that's actually holding sell trades in this market. Looking for bullish evidence in this area, and probably a push all the way up to these lows right here, or potentially even higher. Next up we have is USD CAD. Also last week where we pointed out that we was looking for that retest, which actually did exactly what we wanted to do. It retested this major support, and we're up, going up to the upside. So what we're really looking for this week is a push up to this major resistance, the 135 zone. As soon as we get up to that major resistance, we're just looking for a push all the way down to these highs, looking left, these high, or potentially going all the way down to the 132 zone. And that will be it for USD CAD on the daily chart. Next up we have is oil on a daily chart, which performed really well last week too on price action. We was looking for a break. We was looking for it to go up around to this area, the 54 area, but it actually broke out of this trend channel that I had, ended up deleting, and it just went down to the downside. It was actually overbought, and now the sellers are in the market. And what I'm just looking for now, you see the two measuring points. One is at the 48.82 zone. I want to get bullish evidence in this area. Want to get bullish evidence in this area. Get straight to the bullish evidence. Push up to these highs, looking left, or potentially all the way up to the 51. Or if we do get a break below, we're just looking for a push down to probably the 47. And if it actually does push down, just looking for bullish evidence, and probably a push up to 48, or all the way up to the 51. Just bear in mind that we're in the downtrend. We're in a strong downtrend, so we're just looking for a consolidation and bullish evidence. And this right here on the 47 would usually be like your second safe zone for looking for bullish evidence, or just really just hold that sell trade for a target price at that area. Next up we have is CAD Swiss, which last week performed really well on respecting this daily trend line that I had. And so what we're really looking for, which I have my target price is at, sit down at the 73.72 zone. And at that area I was just looking for bullish evidence. As you see that it hold up as support in the past numbers of times. So we're just looking for this week is bullish evidence in that area, and a push up to these lows, or all the way up to the 75.49 zone. If we do get a break below, I'm probably just going to be doing the trailing stop loss until I just get stopped out in profit. Next up we have is USD Jpy. And as you see that we're in a strong abrupt down downtrend. So what we're just looking for is a pullback, and we're starting to see that a little bit right now where the market is actually at. And it broke out of this little small zone, and we have, I believe, railway tracks. But we're just looking for a pullback to that 101, 111, 44 zone, or pretty much to these lows right here. And as soon as we get to that, either of those two measuring points, what we're just looking for is that bearish evidence from that area, push down to these lows, or potentially all the way down to the 106.68 zone. That'll be it for USD Jpy. Next up we have is AUD CAD. I've been holding this for a while on a swing, and the way how I actually traded this was that I was just looking for a pullback. It was a very deep pullback, and there we go, on a daily chart. I was just looking on a weekly for more confluence, but yes, on a daily we have a strong bullish engulfing. So I actually took a trade during this consolidation at this area to see if it actually retests and come back up, and it did exactly what I wanted to do, and now it's going up to the upside. So what we're just looking for this week is a continuation upward to either these highs or to this major resistance, looking at to the 103 zone for a good target price area. And as soon as we get to that area, again, just looking for that bearish confluence, and probably a push all the way down to these lows, or all the way down to the 107 zone. Next up we have AUD JPY, and I'm on a daily chart. And as you see that we have bullish price action at this area, we're looking at the RSI and seeing that it was actually oversold. So buyers are starting to come into the market. So we may start to see a pullback. So there's two measuring points I would like to highlight. One is that 84.040 zone, where as you see right here that I hold a nice support right here, and a little resistance right here. So what we're just looking for is a push up, a pullback all the way up here, and get that bearish evidence and go straight all the way down to those lows or even lower. Now if the market actually does push up and it breaks out of this area, what we look for is a push up, probably all to these lows looking left, or potentially this major resistance at the 86 zone, and just get that bearish confluence coming all the way down to those lows or potentially even lower. Next up we have is New Zealand dollar, and what we're just looking for on the daily chart. What we actually reviewed last week was that we was looking for a push up for a break above and a retest. It did exactly just that. So now that we actually broke above, we're just looking for bullish evidence into that area, and probably see another push down to the 69.86 zone, and from there to see a push all the way up to those highs, or potentially even higher to that 71. And last week we had that more confluence that is in an uptrend, is that it actually broke this downtrend trend line that I had right here. So now that we're in the uptrend, we're just looking for a pullback and a push to the upside. Next up we have is CAD JPY. So far it's actually getting very close to this major resistance, looking left, the major area that we're just looking for. Is probably a push down to this area, to the 80.55 zone, And from that area, we're just looking for bullish confluence and probably see a break on this downtrend, or probably going up to these lows right here. But I'm just waiting right now for more confluence. Next up we have is Euro JPY. We're looking on a daily chart. And from right here, what we're just looking for is a push all the way up to the 118 zone. And to get a push to that 118 zone, we're just looking for that bullish confluence in that area, and probably a push down all the way to that 116.37 zone, or potentially pushing all the way down to these lows, all the way down to that 112 zone. Also like to point out another area, it's that 116 zone. If the market actually does come down to test, get a push down to that area, but get some bullish confluence into that area, and probably see a push all the way to that 118 zone. That'll be it for Euro JPY. Next up we have is Euro AUD. We're on a daily chart, and as you see that I drew these two trend lines that just to tell us that we are in an uptrend and we're in the channel. So we're in the uptrend channel. So what we're really looking for this week is that since the market actually broke out of the zone, what we're just looking for is bullish confluence. There we go. So bullish confluence into this area where the market is actually testing right now, because in the past it held it up as a nice support. So we want to see if it actually holds as support. If it does, we're just looking for a push up to these highs, looking left, or potentially all the way up to the 144 zone right here. We get a push up to the 144 zone. We're just looking for bearish confluence. I see it hold up as resistance, and a push all the way down to these highs, or all the way back down to the 142 zone. Favorably, next what we have is Euro Gbp British Pound. And when the market is actually testing right now, we're just looking for bullish evidence into the area. We do have a pretty strong abrupt move to the downside, so it may actually break out of the zone. But the way how the French election is actually, the event is going to be happening, we may either see a break below or probably a push up to the upside. But what we're really looking for, as you see, there was times in the past that it held up as a great support level, as a major support. What we're really looking for is bullish evidence, into the area, and probably a push up all the way to these lows right here, or to these major highs up here or up here. And that's what I'm just really looking for. If it does break below this area, the support area, I would be measuring point to the 80-90 zone, looking left, and probably get like bullish confluence from that area and see like a support push up to this support level and see if it hold up as a resistance. But yeah, I just want to get more evidence and see what's going to go on after that French election. And also we have more Euro news during the week, so we probably may see pushes to the upside during that whole week. Next up we have is Euro CAD, and from last week where the market is actually testing right now, or try to test, was that 145 zone. As you see in the past, that actually hold up as a support here, and resistance is a little minor support level, minor level. So what we really look for, probably a nice push up here to the upside of the 45 zone, 145 zone. Get that bearish confluence into that area, and as soon as we get that bearish confluence, we'll see a movement probably to these highs looking left, or potentially all the way down to the 142 zone. Now we're moving on to the British Pound pairs. What we're really looking for on a daily chart is probably another push up to the 128 zone. As soon as we get to the 128 zone, we're just looking for bearish confluence into that area, and probably see a push down all the way down to these lows, or to these highs looking left, potentially even lower to the 126 zone. Also like to jump down to the 4-hour to get more of a clear understanding of what's going on. We can actually see either way, either measuring point, sorry, is that if the market actually does come down to really test this zone, this 126 zone, we're just looking for that bearish, bullish confluence into that area, and see a push up to the upside to these lows, or to these highs, or potentially even higher to that 128 zone. That's all I really want to cover in that one. Next up we have is British Pound JPY. I know this disappointed a lot of people. It disappointed me as too, but the reason why for this push to the upside was because of the Prime Minister last week that gave a speech, and it really had a high impact on the news, on the pair. So it actually did well with the currency. So British Pound is actually starting to strengthen, which actually broke out of this zone and probably going to be going to continuation to the upside. So we're just looking for this week is either two measuring points I would like to point out. Is one, a push down to this important area, this 138 zone, and get bullish evidence into that area, and probably see a continuation upward to that 144 zone, or to these highs looking left to this 144 zone. As you see that it actually hold up as a resistance in the past. Also, I'd like to point out, if the market actually does come up to test this area, we're just looking for bearish evidence into that area, and see it push down all the way down to that 138. If it does actually break out of this just resistance, just looking for a pullback on that retest and a continuation upward. As you see that we do have like abrupt move to the upside, so we're just looking for pullbacks. Next up we have is British Pound AUD, and we're on the 4-hour chart, and what we're just really looking for is for the market to actually come up to test that 170 zone. As soon as we get that move to the upside, we're just looking for that bearish confluence into this area, and see it push down all the way to this low, or probably potentially all the way to the 167 zone. I already took a sell trade on this swing right here. That you saw that it was really overbought, so I took it on to this price action right here, this bearish engulfing. So what I'm just really looking for is a 3-to-1, but I want to see a continuation on probably like a pullback to really retest this area, this 167 area. And as soon as we get to that area, we're just looking for bearish confluence into that area, and probably see a push up to the upside. There we go. On to the next, we have British Pound NZD, and we are on the daily chart. And as you see in the past, that we have a little taps to these highs right here when the market's actually testing. So this actually could be counted as a little minor area. And as you see on RSI, that we're just looking for selling opportunity in this area, and as you see that it was actually overbought. So with all that being said, we're just looking for a push down all the way to this high right here, or potentially, yeah, all the way to this 178 zone as a pullback. Just really test out that area. If the market actually does, we're just looking for bullish confluence and a push up to that 182 zone, into that area. And that would be it for British Pound SED. Last but not least, we have USD Peso, which actually broke out of my daily trend, downtrend channel. So what we were really looking for this week is, since that we have a push up to the upside and it broke out of this channel, was probably push up to this 1915 zone as a pullback on this downtrend, and want to see if this actually break out of this zone. If not, we're just looking for a bearish confluence and start seeing a push down all the way down to these lows on the 1857 zone. Alright guys, well that is it for me, and that will be it for the technical analysis. Like I said, I'll try to do this continuously every Sunday at 10:30 to 11 o'clock or later, and I'm just starting to really upgrade my strategies and starting to open my mind up to new things. So I just want to share more of those value information with y'all. So all that being said, also just look out for is that French election news, and we also have more. Yeah, we have more Euro news during the week. So we're just looking for those spikes to the upsides or to the downsides where we actually reviewed and covered for this week. And from what I'm actually hearing, or from what I actually read with like the French elections, for the candidates that's actually going to be elected or as president over there, that some of them are anti-Euro and want to do investments somewhere else. But I'm still reading up on it, and we may see like a push to the downside with Euro USD. But yeah, I will be doing a follow-up video later this week, and for those that actually want to learn how to actually trade or learn with me, is that you can actually visit my website at juliansanderson.com and just click on learn. I have information there that can help you get started on how to actually trade, learn how to trade with experts, and also just contact me in general if you have any questions. So with all that being said, I hope everyone have a great trading week this week, and have a very great day, and I'll see you at the next Forex review. Good day.